if you take like 8 to 10 pistachios, that could be like a really high dose of melatonin, kind of thyroid function. So if you're struggling with your thyroid health, selenium can be helpful in that route as well. And bonus, it's also a really good source of zinc. Within like 6 hours before eating a high glucose meal, that spike will actually be a little bit blunted because of, they think it's the fiber and the antioxidants that come with the, so you want to get cacao powder. Cacao powder is one of the purest forms of chocolate out there.
Did you say chocolate? Chocolate? Chocolate! Chocolate!
What's up guys, my name is Kaye. Welcome back to my channel, Street Beast TV. So in this video, we're going to talk about 5 foods that I personally like to treat like supplements. The reason that I do this is because these foods just tend to have a really high amount of a certain nutrient that will be beneficial in certain situations. So we're going to go over them one by one. So if you don't know me, I am a certified nutritionist, and on top of that, I'm in school to become a dietitian. And on my own time, I just love researching ways that nutrition can optimize like sports performance, health and wellness, and all that good stuff. Because I'm a little bit of a nutrition nerd, I've definitely had a period in my life where I was just a little bit obsessed and had way too much supplements in my stack. And throughout the years with experience and knowledge, I now know that it's definitely better to treat supplements as a supplement to a good diet. You definitely want to focus first on good nutrition, and then after that, how can you supplement that good nutrition with actual supplements. But assuming you have your nutrition pretty much on lockdown, there are certain things that you can do to enhance or even replace some of your supplements that can be kind of expensive. Alright, so first on the list is Brazil nuts. Brazil nuts has a lot of properties, but most notably, they are the food that is highest concentrated source of selenium. Selenium is an essential nutrient. In general, it's just hard to get. So I actually will take a Brazil nut pretty much every day. I always have some in my fridge. Just one Brazil nut has more than 100% of your recommended daily allowance, RDA, for selenium. On top of that, it's also Brazil nuts are also known to help with any kind of thyroid function. So if you're struggling with your thyroid health, selenium can be helpful in that route as well. And bonus, it's also a really good source of zinc. Alright, next on the list is pretty much my personal favorite, just because I am a chocoholic. I love my chocolate. I think I can't go a day without having some form of chocolate.
Did you say chocolate? Chocolate? Chocolate! Chocolate!
So next on this list is cacao powder. Not to be mistaken with cocoa powder or cacao powder. Those are okay, but they're more processed and they go through this heating process as well that kind of kills a lot of the benefits and nutrients. So you want to get cacao powder. Cacao powder is one of the purest forms of chocolate out there. It is really high in antioxidants and nutrients like zinc, iron. It's shown in studies to improve blood circulation, and it also helps raise your natural levels of serotonin, which is that feel-good hormone inside that you get. Again, not to be mistaken with like a Hershey's bar or a Reese's peanut butter cup. Those have some chocolate, but if you want like the actual benefits, you want to find a really good source cacao powder ideally, or some really good source dark chocolate bars. So personally for me, I have it in dark chocolate bars. I have dark chocolate covered almonds. Cacao powder I'll put in smoothies. I'll make hot chocolate with it, but every single day, almost without fail, I'll actually have a few teaspoons of cacao powder in my coffee. I think it pairs really well with coffee actually. And yes, once in a while I do indulge in the more milky kind of chocolates with nut butter filled and sugar and all that stuff, but not to get confused with the benefits of cacao powder. Next on the list is kind of a 3-in-1. I always rotate these in my fridge. So they're hemp seeds, chia seeds, and flax seeds. And they're all very similar, and I use them because of the same benefits. First off, they are fiber kings. There's so much fiber in these. There's a big deficiency in fiber in the United States. So this definitely helps sprinkling this throughout your meals in any way possible. On top of that, they're really high in omega-3s. There are omega-6 fats and omega-3 fats, and there's a ratio of 4 to 1 that you ideally want. Unfortunately, that ratio is more of like a 20 or 40 to 1 in the United States, and so it's really easy to get omega-6 fats in our diet. It's harder to get omega-3s. Hemp, chia, and flax are really high in omega-3. So on top of the fiber content they have, they're also really high in omega-3s to help balance out that ratio. And bonus, they're also a really good source of iron. Next on the list is legumes. So legumes is a really big category with pretty much black beans, kidney beans. My favorites are garbanzo beans and lentils. If you include these in your diet, there's so many benefits. Again, these are also a really good source of fiber. On top of that, they're a good source of iron. They're also pretty good with protein. So even though they're a carbohydrate source, they come with a good amount of protein. And one of my favorite benefits of legumes is they actually really help with glucose control. So let's say you're gonna have like a really indulgent ice cream from like Ben & Jerry's or something, right? And obviously when you, studies show when you have ice cream with that much, sugar, your glucose spikes and then you get that little dip, so that sugar rush that people really, try to avoid because it's so unhealthy. Well, actually, if you are a regular consumer of legumes, or if you consume the legumes within like 6 hours before eating a high glucose meal, that spike will actually be a little bit blunted because of, they think it's the fiber and the antioxidants that come with the legumes. So if you're gonna have some kind of indulgent meal, it's your birthday, you're gonna have your birthday cake, try to have a handful of some kind of legume beforehand just to kind of help mitigate that glucose spike. I do include legumes whenever I can in all my meals, to the point actually where I'll boil like a big batch of lentils or garbanzo beans. Once it's cooled down, I'll put it in a Ziploc bag, leave it in the fridge, and then I'll actually put a handful in smoothies. You can't taste it, and it gets that extra benefit of the glucose control because I tend to put a little bit too much agave in my smoothies or dates, and so the beans help with that little glucose control that I get from my high sugar smoothies. Alright, and last on this list, I found the most interesting when I first found out about this, just because of the sleep epidemic that we have in America with all these sleep medications and trouble falling asleep, staying asleep, all that stuff, insomnia. So pistachios is next on this list. And pistachios can actually replace melatonin.
Pistachios are not just the most melatonin-rich nut. They're simply off the charts as the most melatonin-rich food ever recorded. To get a physiological dose of melatonin, all you have to do is eat two. What? Two what? No. Just 2 pistachios. Check it out. Here's the data. More than 200 micrograms of melatonin per gram. 0.2 milligram per gram. And you can get that normal daily spike your brain gives you taking just 0.3 micrograms. So just 2 nuts. So taking a whole handful of pistachio nuts is like taking one of those high-dose melatonin supplements.
They're so high in melatonin that you only actually need 2 pistachios to equal like a regular dosed supplement of melatonin. So if you take like 8 to 10 pistachios, that could be like a really high dose of melatonin. So I personally, when I'm having trouble sleeping and I don't want to reach for the melatonin, I'll start snacking on some pistachios at night. Or if I'm trying to, if I'm in a different time zone, I want to change my sleep and wake cycle, I'll start using melatonin in the form of pistachios to help regulate myself to try to start falling asleep. So that's just something that I have in my stack of jet lag supplement routines. Anyways guys, that's it for this video. This is the first time I'm doing this kind of video, so let me know down in the comments. I'm curious. Do you like this video? Do you want to see more content like this? Like this video if you liked it or learned something from it. Subscribe if you want to see more from me. As always, hard work over talent. Eat plants, remember workouts. Out.